We're joined today by Marcus Grosskopf. He is the bassist for Helloween. As they're back on the road here, they're coming to the Fillmore in Minneapolis on May 27th. Marcus, how you doing today?
All right. I'm very, very good. It's funny, like when I started doing interviews today, an hour ago, the guy right next to me started drilling some big fucking terrible holes into the wall, and so it was very, very loud. I couldn't hear anything, and I was just like going to the balcony doing my interviews. But it's nice weather, so it's cool. I don't know when he starts drilling the next hole, but it's nice weather and it's cool. It's blue sky, and I can see some water, some cows,
Excellent.
some cars. I'm fine. And I'm having a beer, a nice cool one. So it's going to be a good day for an interview.
Thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor speaking with you.
All right. It's my pleasure.
Well, first of all, Helloween is hitting the road here throughout May and into June. And it's got to be exciting for you guys to get back on the road and into the States here.
Yeah. It's been a long time, right? When was the first time I've been there? That's a couple of years ago, including the fucking pandemic time. And this time we're coming. I can't even remember the last time we came without Michael and without Kai, right? Or did we do the last American tour with a new lineup?
You know, I think maybe you might have right before everything shut down.
Yeah, all right. There you go. We're talking about a couple of years.
Definitely.
And yeah, but it's going to be great coming back. You know, we trying to get a set list together for this American tour, which will be probably similar to the one that we're playing in Europe. And then before that, we go to South America. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And you guys will be at the Fillmore here in Minneapolis on May 27th. And I know there are a lot of Helloween fans here in Minnesota. So as you mentioned, it's been a while. People are really excited.
All right. I remember Minnesota, but wasn't that the club where Prince was playing at?
Yep, at First Avenue. Yep.
When we did the Halloween show at the Halloween Day, somebody told me that that's been the club where Prince did some recordings for that Purple Rain movie and all that kind of stuff. You know, I can't quite remember that. If it's the same, I can't. If it's the same city, I think it was Minneapolis, right?
Yep, that's the same place.
All right. I remember that kind of very good.
Well, I know you're playing with Hammerfall on this tour, and that has to be cool for you guys, but I imagine even more so for them. I'm sure you guys were a big influence on them coming up as you were a lot of bands.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're hanging out with the guys. They're quite nice. It's like when we have a touring break, you kind of miss those guys because this is a very good understanding on tour, and I'm hitting the dressing rooms and stealing their beers and making fun and stuff like this. The guys are really, really cool, you know. It's good to hang out with them. So the tour is going to be really, really funny, and it's better when you understand yourself with the other guys, with the other bands, and having fun and talking and drinking a little, and you know, it makes life so much more easier, you know. And it's a great band on stage. We give them like an hour and 15 playing time, so it's not only a support band, it's like a real cool package, like a real cool killer package coming at you.
Definitely. And I know you're playing from the latest album, Helloween. That's probably the first time the U.S. audiences, at least, will hear a lot of these new songs.
Oh, yes. And we're kind of looking forward to it, you know. Rehearsing time will be coming at us in next week, and then we start in South America doing some Deep Purple, Scorpion, Saxon, and Kiss festivals, where we are being there for like almost 40 years, being almost hitting our 60s. We're going to be the youngest band over there. Isn't that strange?
It's great that you've had the longevity that you've had, and I know that last album did well. And can you tell us a bit about the album, maybe for the listeners maybe that somehow missed it? I mean, how was it for you to be back in the studio, with the original guys after all these years.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, you have two more guys in the band, and that also meant it's not going to make the whole process easier, because you have like writing songs and discussing what song is going to be the best song for the album and what part in the song is going to be the best part for the song. It's always a big discussion, That's why you enter the studio having all these discussions and trying to make the best arrangements. You're always trying to find out what the song needs, what the song is crying for, what the song is asking for. And having two more people in this process, having two more very creative people like Michael and Kai, wouldn't really make the whole process easier, but it's also so much more input, giving the song some more attitude, That's what was really, really interesting to see how the song developed, with some new guys coming in, new old guys coming in, also having ideas about the songs, how to create them, It's been a real big creative process that went well this time, and great. I mean, it took so much longer than we used to do it, but there was so much more, because there was so much more input from all sides, because we're like 5 songwriters in the band. You don't do it just like that. You sit down, you talk, you try, you give it another try, you throw parts in the bin, you create new stuff, but it's and there's coming ideas from all sides till your head is full of ideas. You gotta try, and then till your head is full of steaming ideas. But in the end of the day, you have a hell of a record coming out of it, And I kind of like that kind of work, and it's very, very massive working. This massive attack of ideas coming at you, and you got to find out what's best for the song. But listen to the record, and then you know what I mean. It took a long time, but it's been a hell of a process, and it's been very interesting.
Definitely. So, do you feel like the vibe in the studio when everyone came back together after so long, did it kind of just sort of fall back into place? Maybe like riding a bicycle?
No, that was very, very different, because this time we decided to go back to the old studio when we recorded like the Master of the Rings, the Chameleon album and all that stuff, when we started off with recording with Andy Darius for the very first time, when Ingo was still there, Ingo Schwichtenberg on the drums. And we rented that studio just for the vibe of it, for the hell of it, because we thought on the last tour, you probably saw how we did, how we produced Ingo's drum solo on the screen, playing together with Donnie, And so we thought, what can we do for like keeping the Ingo vibe for the next album? So we went into this old studio where we did the recordings with him, and for some records before he passed away. And we also rented all those analog 24-track machines that were recorded on those back in those days. And also we had like the original drum kit he was playing on those albums. That was all an idea just for people might not like hear it that obviously, but for us it's something very, very special. You know what I mean? It's something very emotional. Sure. that was flowing into that whole process of that record. It's still something of that for me in there, that's very, very big emotional for us, And I think you can hear that. I mean, if you don't hear it that obvious, but that vibe for us was there, that creation, that way of creating something,
Yeah, and I know the album did really well on the charts and was well received all over the world. I mean, that's got to be a good feeling, knowing how excited the fans were to hear you guys, back together again and going back to the old ways, and still it's sounding fresh and new. So, I mean, definitely, it's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, and also the tour went very well so far. I mean, especially we got kicked in the arse by the pandemic, by the fucking pandemic. After we went number one, right? We were just like ready to go for it, ready to go out, and kick some butts. But then, we were kind of stopped, like everybody else was kind of stopped by that fucking uh, bullshit virus that nobody really needed. And being there with the number one album being stopped like this was like not really, really funny. But then in the end of the day, we are still hot going out playing. I mean, the tour we're doing now was planned for like 19 or 20, but this is still fresh. We kind of missed one period of time, one period of tour and record, but still it's working well. People seem to really they really like to go out being entertained.
Sure.
It's amazing.
So, with that being said, was there much that you wound up changing in the set, or for the live show that you maybe had when you first started out? Did it kind of evolve over the last couple of years?
Well, we've been putting on ice for like 1.5, 2 years, and then we were just as it went on again. It was suddenly there again, and we decided to. All right, we play this song, we play that song, and suddenly the normal process started again, as if there was nothing happened before. You go back into the rehearsal room, you start talking about music. What can you play? What can you do? What can you do for a live show? What live parts? What singing bits? How can you involve the audience? And it was just like the normal process was just like there when we first hit the rehearsal room again, the rehearsal studio again. It was just like, wow, it's still there after those 2 years been putting on ice. Nobody thought of like, oh, well, maybe it's going to be something different. But it was just like right there right in your face. And it was just like working on some tracks and working on some music. But it was just like the feeling was there. We there was nothing missing really. And that was kind of cool, And with that attitude, we go out now. We're back again and nothing can really destroy us.
Well, I know you have been with Helloween since day one, and it's been about 35 years since the Keeper of the Seven Keys albums were released. Those albums really put you guys on the map at that time, but they really still hold up well today, I think. Did you kind of realize at that time that you were creating a style that really influenced, pretty much every European metal band that came after you guys?
When we did the first mini LP, even with the first song on that death metal sampler, and the Walls of Jericho coming up, I thought, well, that is really, really something different. It was clear that inventing the wheel anew is not going to happen anymore. But and changing styles and then changing what was there, taking influences by Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Black Sabbath, and all that kind of UFO bands. All that influence was there with us. But we took it to a different kind of thing, It was like we wanted to find our own style of music, and we knew we had to do something different from what was there already. We could easily do some easily going hard rock music, which was going on in the city of Hamburg at that time. But we needed to find a style that was not really with the old influence we had. We needed to create something very different from what was there at the time, and we knew there was something in the air, so to say. But we didn't know how far we're going to take it, And in the end of the day, 40 years later, we're standing here, still sitting, talking about the next shows. You couldn't believe it when you were young, when you were 22. But after all this time, I'm thank God I'm still be able doing this.
Definitely. Well, again, Helloween is on the road. You're coming to Minneapolis May 27th. Is there anything else maybe coming up for the fans, or something else we should be watching out for?
No, we're just like concentrating on the live shows we're going to do this year. I think it's gonna take us out for like we do South America. We go back to Germany, do a couple of shows there. Then we come to North America. A little bit of Canada's in there. We're gonna do some. Then we go back to Europe. Do a lot of them European festivals, which are very very popular. We go out on weekends destroying everything, set fire to the curtains, go back home for the weekdays, and then on the weekends we go out for like another shot on a festival. That's what I kind of like doing. And then after that is our summer season. It's always great. You're meeting people there you didn't see for a long time because they're touring and you're touring, and you hook up there after the shows, sharing a nice cold one. It's great. That's what I kind of like. And after that, we go to Japan, and then it's time to maybe think about writing some new stuff, in the end of the year. But I think the full year is packed with gigs and, live entertainment.
Awesome, man. Well, definitely looking forward to you guys coming to Minnesota here. And
all right. I'm there.
Again, it's been an honor speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. My pleasure. Cheers.
And again, that was the one and only Marcus Grosskopf, the bassist for Helloween. And Helloween is coming to the Fillmore in Minneapolis on May 27th with Hammerfall.